Now, TaylorMade are making some very bold claims about the performance you can see with their new TP5 and TP5X golf balls. Today, we're testing them out and seeing how good these golf balls really are, and also putting them head to head against Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1Xs. Let's get into it. Before we get into this video, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the Golf A Lot YouTube channel. We know that the majority of our viewers that watch these videos are not subscribed to our channel. So if that's you, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out massively, and just make sure that we can keep creating content for you guys. So a little bit of background with these balls. Now, TaylorMade this year have spent millions into their golf ball production because they're so confident that golfers are going to love these golf balls that they need significantly more golf ball making machines to keep up with the demand that they're going to see with the new TP5 and TP5Xs. Now, TaylorMade are saying that the TP5 is the softest tour ball and the TP5X is the fastest. They're both meant to be softer and faster compared to last year's model, but the TP5X is coming in significantly faster, and TaylorMade are saying that golfers would see an extra 7 yards on their 5-iron, which obviously is a massive increase in distance purely from just changing your golf ball. So the piece of technology that TaylorMade are saying has allowed them to see this extra distance is the new Speed Wrapped core. Now, this Speed Wrapped core is similar to the Speed Foam that we've seen in the TaylorMade P790 irons, and essentially it is meant to give a softer feel to the golf ball while still allowing for optimal speeds and extra distance. Within the TaylorMade 5-layer model, we've got a new speed gradient this year, which is meant to optimize each shot in the bag. So that's going to give you low spin on your drives and long irons, but increasing the spin and control across your wedges and short game shots. Essentially, they're saying you're going to be able to get faster ball speeds with your driver, but more control and feel around the greens without having to choose one or the other. So before going into this testing, I definitely noticed across social media that there is a lot of hype about the TP5X golf balls, so I was expecting quite a big jump in distance from them. And to be honest, out on the golf course, when I was hitting some tee shots with the TP5X and some with the TP5, on the same hole, I was definitely noticing that the TP5X was always going that little bit further. It also felt like it was coming off quite a bit faster, whereas you were definitely noticing the difference in the feel there, with the TP5 being much softer and just feeling that bit more gentle and obviously falling behind a little bit in distance. The TP5 was a very soft feeling golf ball, and to be honest, I couldn't really feel the difference between a TP5 and a Titleist Pro V1 golf ball. The TP5 felt really good then around the greens with that nice soft feel and lots of control, as you would expect with a Pro V1. The TP5X is that little bit firmer, so you did notice a difference around the greens, and it is firmer than a Pro V1X, so it did just take that little bit of time to get used to that different feeling, especially on the short game shots. Now, I know that a lot of golfers just want a plain white golf ball. However, I really like the Pix design, and I do use this in my own golf game. So because of that, I was originally playing the 2023 TP5X Pix, and recently I have switched to play with a 2024 TP5X Pix. And what I noticed was that there did seem to be a difference in terms of how far I was hitting the 2024 ball. I was noticing that I was having shorter shots in, or at least it seemed that way, which is what TaylorMade are claiming that the new TP5X ball is going to do. In terms of the actual Pix design, that has also changed in 2024, and to be honest, that did take a little bit of getting used to, as I was a huge fan of the 2023 Pix. It's a hard concept to explain, but once you get it, you notice it on the golf course. The difference with the 2024 Pix is that you've no longer got the triangle, you've got more of a square pattern, and essentially what TaylorMade have tried to do is they've got all of the inside of the Pix with the orange color and all of the outside with the black color. So if you look at the ball, you can see that the inside of the Pix everywhere here is orange and the outside is black. Now, the reason for that is it's almost meant to act like a bit of an optical illusion, so that the inside track of the golf ball appears brighter and the outside, where the black of the Pix is, appears to be more grey. It is just a very different design, but once I got my head around it and noticed the thing about the white on the inside and the grey on the outside, I definitely felt as though this was a really good training aid, especially for putting, so I became a fan of the new Pix design. Going on to looking a little bit more of the data. Now obviously the premium standard for golf balls that everybody is aspiring to is the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. So because of that, we're going to take a look at the TP5 and compare it to the Pro V1 and then the TP5X to the Pro V1X. So on Foresight, we tested out a driver, an iron and a wedge with each of those golf balls to see if there was any difference that we could pick up. So starting off with TP5 versus Pro V1. In terms of feel, even indoor on the simulator, I just couldn't really tell the difference between the two of them. They're both very soft and feel very, very similar. There were some differences in the data, so if we take a look at that, the average carry that I was getting with a 46-degree wedge with the Pro V1 was 96 yards, whereas we were seeing 98 yards with the TP5. So a slight difference, but not massive in comparison. What was interesting was that the spin rate was quite a bit lower with the TP5 than the Pro V1, so you would maybe be seeing a little bit more stopping power out on the golf course with the Pro V1 ball. Now going on to the 7-iron, the spin rates between the TP5 and the Pro V1 were very similar. There wasn't much in terms of difference there. However, there was a bit of a difference seen in the carry distances, with the TP5 carrying 154 yards, but the Pro V1 going 149 yards on average. Now that was also backed up with a little bit extra ball speed from the TP5 coming in at 2.8 miles per hour faster. And finally, onto the driver, it was pretty similar to what we saw with the 7-iron in that the spin rates were almost identical between the TP5 and Pro V1. However, we saw a couple extra yards and 1.5 miles faster with the TP5 compared to the Pro V1 ball. So all in all, we can see that the TP5 has done pretty well in terms of performance. As I said, I really couldn't tell the difference between the feel of the TP5 and the Pro V1. However, we were getting a bit more ball speed and further distances with the TP5, so it has lived up to what TaylorMade were claiming it was going to do. Going on to the TP5X versus the Pro V1X, with the wedge I was seeing quite a difference in the spin rates. The Pro V1X was spinning up at 8,100, which was about 500 more than the average spin rate with the TP5X. In terms of distances, the TP5X was going 98 yards and the Pro V1X was going 99. So the Pro V1X actually was the winner in terms of distance, but only by a yard, so not too much that we can take from that. Going on to the 7-iron, we had very similar results in terms of the distances and ball speeds. For the Pro V1X, I was seeing an average carry distance of 147 yards, whereas the TP5X was up at 153 yards. So definitely an increase in distance there. And we also saw that the TP5X was going 1.5 miles faster on average than the Pro V1X. The main difference with the spin rates was that we did see that the Pro V1X was spinning, again, 500 more than the TP5X on average. And finally, coming on to the driver. Now the carry distance with the driver was actually exactly the same on average with the TP5X and the Pro V1X. The only difference there in the distances was that the TP5X was rolling out an extra 5 yards distance in terms of the total distance, and we did also see that the ball speeds were pretty similar, with the Pro V1X coming out at 0.3 miles an hour faster, so really very comparable there. The main difference came from the spin rates, with once again the TP5X spinning 500 RPM lower than the Pro V1X, which could be one of the reasons that we were seeing that extra distance in the turtle with the TP5X on the driver. So all in all, the main difference that I can pull out from that was that consistently lower spin with the TP5X compared to the Pro V1X, always coming in at 500 RPM lower in each of the 3 clubs that we tested out. And we were seeing a little bit more distance with both the TP5X and the TP5. And throughout the irons and drivers, we were seeing a little bit extra distance with the TP5 and the TP5X compared to the Titleist balls, but only very marginally and only by a couple of yards, if that. Coming on to value for money then, the TaylorMade golf balls actually come in at £5 cheaper RRP for a box of 12 compared to the Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. So if you're somebody that uses a Pro V1 currently and you're looking to save a little bit of money on your golf balls, you might want to test out the TP5. And if you're used to the Pro V1X, you could try out the TP5X. There might be a bigger difference there in terms of the firmness, which could be off-putting for some people and might be a reason that you might not want to change to these golf balls, even though they are that bit cheaper. Thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like and let me know down in the comments what golf ball do you currently use, and are you considering testing out either the TP5 or TP5X golf balls. As always, if you want to know more about my thoughts or the technology behind these golf balls, you can check out my full written review over on the Golf A Lot website. Thank you guys for watching and subscribe for more.